That way, if you have any follow-up questions, we can absolutely walk you through it again and again, however many times, because it's going to be a pretty important tool for accessing committee-related materials. So, and Rush, if you would, just don't click on any questionnaires because of the data.
Hey, Mark.
We have a form.
Yeah. You still want to do it?
Yeah.
Real quick.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's very quick. It would be helpful if you guys had the Google Drive app on your phone, or if you're doing it on a mobile device, or just use Google Drive. Lucian, they don't need to have a Gmail account.
I don't believe so. No.
Yeah. So,
but just show it to us as if it were a browser window, really quick.
Yeah. So this is what you would look at when you click that link that I send you. For those, there would be new applications, renewals. All the materials would be here. If there's a sidewalk application, there'd be a sidewalk application folder. If you click it, it should be organized like this. So you can click it. When you click one, it'll have the 30-day notice there, the questionnaire, the summary sheet, all the relevant materials in there.
Just click on one and one open them up.
Right.
Yeah, so that's kind of how it would look like. Additionally, for the ones that get, that we get a lot of correspondence for, we'll put those in there as well. And, we'll label those correspondence. The link should lead you directly to this, so it shouldn't be, but let me know if you have an issue. I know Mitch told me about subdividing them in a certain way to committees, but we'll talk about that. But for now, that's basically you'll have access to this folder.
So current month is always going to reflect what the upcoming meeting materials that you want to look through, and they're going to sort everything by application type, and so months where there's a sidewalk cafe, that information will also be in a folder for sidewalk cafe applications. So. It's all there. We try our best to keep it up to date. If you have any questions about it or need some extra walkthroughs, please reach out to us and we'll certainly do so. But it's going to be the easiest way to see all the material, especially if the material is too big to go in an email. Sometimes a packet's too big for email. And this is going to be the best way to give you that access.
Email link?
Yeah, yeah.
How soon would April be up there? April 1st, you'll have everything up there, or start having everything?
We do it continuously, so.
When does the current month change to April? To April 1? And is that?
After full board, they'll make current month say April, but as they get April materials, there will be an April folder that'll start filling up.
So it's the same link all the time.
The same link will always go to current month.
Ramesh, did you get any feedback from, like let's say you open up new applications, I just said, because sometimes I know I have 10 minutes to look at it now, I have an hour to look at it later. Then new applications, and then the way it is here, like Tribeca, South Street, Seaport, that, because things that, if you're familiar with it, you know that you can spend that time.
So you're making a recommendation to put everything into geographies?
Yeah, but I mean, like that, but then if, the way we have, then we go to now we have applications for Tribeca, yes, geography. After that, because otherwise sometimes if I know I got 15 minutes before I have to go to work or whatever, I can't go through all of them, because to figure out what neighborhood it is, it would just help time-wise.
So maybe we could do the geographies in the new applications folder, because if we were to sort it in every single folder, even though the ones that you don't often look like, but is that okay if we do geographies in that folder?
Sure.
Only?
Because I like to be thorough about everything, but that would help me because I'm low tech and.
No, it's fine. We're going to work to make it meet your needs.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I'd like to see also if we could just do a metadata field in the folder. That way you could just tag it. That would be the easiest.
We may be able to do links with tags in the future for each neighborhood, so people can see the list.
That way it can just be searched.
Yeah. But for now,
Sure. It's not a major thing.
So it's just a quick look, but we're available as a resource. We can still, if we request it, we'll send you whatever we can via email. But sometimes we have files that are just too big.
Sure.
And this makes it much easier. Okay, thank you, Ramesh, appreciate it.
And what are the rules about passing these things on, questionnaire?
So the city has a law on private information, and it's a fairly new law. And last year, we were supposed to put together a plan, we did. We were asked to put together a plan, along with every other community board and government agency, to elaborate how we protect personally identifiable information and other sort of private data. Names, social security numbers, phone numbers, email addresses, personal home addresses, and we have to control who gets access to that. That doesn't mean that we can't provide information, but if there's a request that includes that kind of information, we have to redact it. And in the case of these questionnaires, it's so time-consuming to redact through, especially if there's
Personal phone numbers
and
everything.
petitions,
Right, right.
which is just littered with personal identification.
Right, sure.
We ask applicants to also fill out summary sheets, which includes the information that people most often want to have, but it's also free of personally identifiable information and private information. So we prefer to provide the summary sheets to people who ask for information. Though if we are foiled for the entire questionnaire, we will go through and redact it all. I'm also happy to read information off the questionnaire if people have specific questions about any particular applicant, because it's much faster than redacting. And I can filter out the personally identifiable information. So that's the reason why there's a summary sheet in addition to the questionnaire. In the future, we're going to streamline the process so applicants don't have to fill out the summary sheet in addition to the questionnaire. It'll be automatically generated, but require some steps to be taken, which we're in the process of doing now.
And let me ask you, because Ramesh and I have been working on another revised questionnaire, which puts all the personal information on the last page. Now, if that's paper, we could just rip that thing off and hand it out.
That's a good idea.
But these come in as PDFs, right? That's not so easy.
Yeah, so it takes a lot less time to chop it up as a PDF than it does for me to go through and redact it. But the bottom line is, if somebody requests the entire questionnaire, I still will have to go through the entire questionnaire and redact everything.
You mean a board member requesting it?
No,
Member of the
board member, no, yeah, member of the public.
Okay.
Because you guys are technically you're public officers, and so you're kind of within that sphere. So the reason why Jeff brought this up is we ask for you not to forward that on. If somebody has a request for the information, I will field the request and give them the information as fast as I can. But that's to protect people's personally identifiable information and private information.
Okay.
Thank you, Jeff, for bringing that up.
Yeah, thank you for answering. First, is there anybody here because of 161 Duane Street? Because that's been canceled. Nobody. Okay.
Postponed, right?
Postponed, sorry, yes, postponed till next month. All right, these are the only 6 on the agenda, right? Or 5?
There's
now.
5 now, yeah.
Okay. Why don't we start with 65 Broadway? Anybody here for 65 Broadway? Yeah. You want to present what you've got?
I have some handouts here. Should I try?
Yeah.
It's financial
Did you put
district.
this? This
It's
is,
all the way low Manhattan, like
Yep.
it's far down.
South of
Broadway.
Trinity, just south of Trinity.
yeah, sure.
All right, well, we gotta do it anyway.
No, but I'm just saying, it's not that. You want me to read? No.
At some point, that's good.
Good evening. My name is Samuel Lam. I'm a friend, also attorney for Young Cho.
Thank you.
He's the owner of 65 Broadway location. He's actually going to be manager, J-Saw.
I'll fix it.
This location used to be a deli. It used to be a food place, market deli. And we're more or less doing the same thing, except with a different idea. But there's a mezzanine level, a split level mezzanine level that we want to turn into sort of a bar. We feel that with the rent that we have to be paying, that we're trying to attract more people. So we're looking for a full liquor license. To be honest with you, we don't have a clear picture of exactly what this is going to be, other than the fact that this is going to be a full-service deli and market with a bar upstairs. And that's the reason that we are looking for long hours as well as upstairs in the mezzanine being a bar there. The place is about 7,000 square feet, the first floor, no basement. The mezzanine area is about 3,000 square feet. Okay, and that's where the bar is going to be. This is not going to be a club or anything of that sort. Mr. Cho has a deli on 48th Street in Manhattan, nearby the Rockefeller Center. And he holds a liquor license there. That is wine and beer. He has no prior record, violation of any sort. He's been a good operator. What else can I tell you about? The prior tenant had some issues with maintenance. This is an American Express building. It's a landmark building. And the landlord is spending a lot of money to redo the front glass space. And it's going to look beautiful. And the entrance is going to be renovated as well. So that's going through a landmark process by the landlord right now. So once that's done, we're going to go in and do the renovation as well. So this has been a sort of a food market going on the last 20 years. I don't know exactly what was there before, but the last 20 years it's been a deli food market. And we plan to do more or less the same way with more groceries as well as deli and then a bar upstairs.
So will it be,
open 24 hours a day?
No, the bar upstairs it says 12 to 11 p.m.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it says,
The food service is 24.
The deli
okay,
itself will
but
be open
it says
24 hours.
12 p.m. to 11 p.m.? Is that a mistake on mine?
The bar is not going to be open 24 hours.
what does this say, Francis?
It looks like it says 12.
Bar service hours 12 p.m., which is 12 noon to 11 p.m.
That's correct.
That's right.
Do you have food service in the mezzanine also?
Yes.
You do?
Yes.
That'll-
Well, there's the kitchen there, so we're going to be bringing a food service to mezzanine. Yes.
So the kitchen's on the ground floor?
Yes.
Okay. And you'd be serving food 24 hours?
Yes.
Yeah.
Will you be
But
serving food
but
in
we're
the
not going
mezzanine?
to be opening the mezzanine area 24 hours.
So the mezzanine will close at 11 when the
11
bar
o'clock.
service
Yes.
ends?
Yes.
Oh, okay, all right.
Is that okay? Mezzanine closing 11 o'clock before I speak? 선생님 어떡하세요? 우리 팀에 11시면 다 수 있죠?
It's 24 hours a day as well, so the
Yeah,
service
that's
to the
fine.
community.
Okay,
Yeah, we don't mind stipulating to the fact that
that's
we'll close
okay.
the mezzanine area at 11 o'clock,
okay,
because we don't want people going there and sleeping and so forth, okay?
Right.
all right. So,
Still confused on the method of operation.
well, it's a liquor license, basically a liquor license for the second floor till 11 p.m. Does that sound right?
Yes.
Yes.
Are you a restaurant, a tavern? What is your method of operation?
I can only describe this as...
As you said, you had a tough time describing it in your presentation. Can you be more clear on what it's going to be?
It's a deli grocery with a bar.
Did you fill out, I mean, your 30-day notice, what did you just say?
Deli grocery with a bar and a restaurant as well. So it's just, I put a whole...
So it's a bar.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you want to say it's a bar,
Technically, well, I'm not, if I want to say,
The upstairs.
as far as the SLA is concerned, it's a bar, not a restaurant.
Is the
Correct.
food served on the second floor as well?
food is served on the
Yes.
second floor as well.
So it's a bar restaurant.
Okay.
Is there seats?
You know, the SLA doesn't have a category for the description that I have, but
That's what I'm trying to get to.
yeah.
That's what we got to figure out.
Well,
But
no, I think,
It's a bar restaurant. They
I
said
mean, they're
food
not
upstairs.
licensing the ground floor, right? Or, while you,
No
of course,
liquor
you're
is served on the
you're
ground
selling
floor.
beer,
we're not selling hard liquor on the ground floor.
but you're selling beer,
Beer
et
and
cetera,
wine?
down
Yes,
there.
yes.
Will beer be off premise as well?
The beer will be off premise, yes, not the wine.
So they can buy wine downstairs and bring it upstairs to the mezzanine?
No.
Okay.
The wine and hard liquor will be only served upstairs. Only beer will be. you
In
can
the
purchase
deli,
beer
but they
downstairs,
take it
yes.
and leave with it. They don't
leave
take
with
it upstairs.
That's
There's no
correct.
consumption on the first floor of
Uh,
alcohol.
We would like consumption on the first floor for the beer.
You just said they
So
would take the
it's-
beer and leave.
The beer,
They can.
under the liquor
Okay.
license,
Right.
you're allowed to
They
take
can.
just
You can
beer.
walk
for-
around.
So you have seatings on the
There'll be
first
seating on
floor.
the first
Yes,
floor?
we do have seatings on the first floor.
Right.
So in a way, it sounds like two
Does that
separate.
license already exist?
There's no license
So
that
they have to
exists.
license for
This
that
is
too.
more like, I'm not sure, I was here before last year for
Yeah.
Zaytuna,
Yeah.
more or less, and that's what we got,
Yes.
Right,
and that's what we're doing
similar.
over there, yes, similar.
It seems like two licenses. Somehow you need a beer and wine license downstairs and a OP license on the mezzanine.
Right.
Right, but full liquor license will combine all those matters.
So we have to stipulate that the only consumption of alcohol on the first floor will be beer.
Yeah,
You agree to
Well,
that?
beer-
That we
In a
can do.
stipulation?
Yes,
beer and wine or beer?
just beer.
Beer, okay.
Yeah.
He said beer.
Yeah, because they want people to have to pay
the
premium
wine
for the
upstairs.
wine upstairs.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
We can put it in that way. I don't really know how the SA deals with it, but we can state that very clearly, what you've said. I just don't know. It sounds like two licenses to me, but if they can combine it as one,
Yeah, they won't be issuing two licenses for this
Yeah.
location.
Yeah.
So,
If they have one license, even though he'll agree to a stipulation of only serving beer, I think technically he can serve whatever he wants down there as per the license.
well, no, not if we
Think.
stipulate it.
And we'll
If it's-
stipulate
If
it.
it's one license and we make stipulations
Right.
that say only this on the first
they
floor,
actually
We've
made
never
a
done-
stipulation in the
then
license.
it's
No,
covered
yeah.
by the OP.
This
whereas-
has never come up before.
No, no.
This has never come, this is why it sounds innocuous, you know, what he's doing at 11 PM, all that stuff, but this is, the details of this are unusual. It's never come up where you have one OP license. It's, you know, you have one OP license, you say, all right, you can serve, until 10 PM on the patio, and that's it. It won't be, you can serve only beer on the patio, but not inside the patio. Inside the building, you can serve beer, wine, or liquor. This is very unusual. This has never happened before. I've been on the board since 1992. So your request needs to be sorted out.
They actually
Well,
label, they actually state those conditions on the license itself, by the way. I've seen that happen. Where
Never
it
seen
says
it
access to
before.
mezzanine limited to certain hours.
Hours, not type of drink.
That's true, yeah.
This has never happened. So this is what we got to sort out. If we can, I don't even know if a license is even allowed to do that. And once he has the license, he has it. Even though he might agree to the stipulation, it still might not be enforceable.
Why do you only want to serve beer on the ground floor?
Well, because we want to have wine sales on just the upper floors. Not, you don't want to have bottles of wine downstairs and you have to open it to them and service them. First floor is more or less self-service.
I see.
Yeah, on the second floor you have a bar where, your waiters and attendings, yes.
We have a situation that's, to me, in my mind, similar to what you're doing on Duane Street. We have a very, very nice deli that, you know what I'm talking
Yes.
about. And they have a second level.
Right.
And what they did when they came to us was they asked for beer and wine first, and then went to a full liquor license afterwards. And they, they have a lot of sandwich and a very nice food service during the day. And he's not 24 hours because the neighborhood doesn't warrant that. But to me, the tradition has always been to do the beer and wine first for like the first year and then go to the full liquor later, rather than do it all in one full swoop.
Does that
Is
guy
that very
have two
residential?
floors?
He has a second floor.
And is it liquor on one floor and beer on the other?
Well, he only did beer and wine, and then he asked for the full liquor, but he,
For both floors?
For
So
both.
that's a different
That makes it-
situation.
yeah, but he
Yeah.
never,
That's
he
Are you
never
talking about
served.
Deli Marie?
That's
Yeah,
different. That's a
the,
different
I think the
scenario.
upstairs is a lot smaller than the
Yeah.
mezzanine that they're
Yeah.
talking about.
I'm just saying that
It
it,
seems,
Kelly.
you get a full bar, you get a full liquor license, you're allowed to serve the beer to go in on premise. He has a full liquor license, where he chooses to serve the beer is somewhat irrelevant, that's an in-house rule, that's not a liquor license. That's his house rules, that's not a liquor license.
Yeah, but
He's licensed for the entire establishment.
right. So it becomes the bar becomes a different animal when beer, wine, and liquor are on the first floor, as opposed to a second floor lounge. Now the first floor becomes a full service bar. if wine and liquor are allowed down there.
If you look at the layout, we don't have a bar on the first floor.
But it doesn't,
That's what I think.
it doesn't matter, it can always be changed.
Can
No,
this
but we
just
have
be
to come
resolved
before you
with
for alteration
stipulations of
permits
full
all over
license,
again.
but
This is
stipulate
not-
beer on the first floor?
Yeah, I wrote that down already, but I don't know
He's
if
not
it's
sure if it's
enforceable.
enforceable, but by
I
the
Once you have the
suggest-
OP,
I suggest
for the building.
We can put it in the resolution.
that we write a resolution that way. We'll call the SLA between now and then.
Okay. You
I'll
can
talk to,
find out.
our contact there and see if there's any complications with this, all right? Because we just don't know.
I'm reading here, it says there's no residential units in that building, so that's a little different than the place that Gene's talking about, which is surrounded by residential
Right.
units. And that place has been no problem whatsoever.
Right.
And maybe it might be a benefit to that, like, more desolate area, to
Yes.
have like, one of those, like, like those little groceries that are open 24 hours, that sometimes Pat says that she can't find something
it
to
all the time.
get down that neighborhood.
Right.
That's not the issue.
No, it's just a question of it's a technical question.
Just a point of,
Karen, yeah.
fact. Hello, Mr. An? Mr. An,
Yes,
on the ground floor, is there any seating at this point, or do you have plans to put it in?
no, there is seating on the
There
ground
is,
floor. There is,
okay.
yeah, seating on it.
So I suggest that we do a resolution that, well, we haven't voted, but if we approve it, that approves this license with liquor, a full license on the mezzanine till 11 p.m. Beer, beer, we'll stipulate that beer only, that in the 24 hours part, beer only is served. What else, Mark?
The second floor,
We could
first
create
floor
this.
will only have beer service, no wine, no liquor. Second floor will be allowed to have beer, wine, and liquor on the mezzanine.
Till 11. Oh, and that the mezzanine closes completely at 11,
That's fine.
right?
So, what are the hours? I didn't get to that yet.
12 p.m. to
11.
11 p.m.
That's the mezzanine.
7 days a
Right.
week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who do I speak with, if you guys ever get a response from the SLA? Do I speak with anybody in particular in the community board?
For here,
Yes.
Lucian or me, I guess.
Okay.
Lucian?
Regarding what, I'm sorry?
I'll call Mike Jones and find out if there's any complication with this, what we're proposing here.
Okay.
And,
And Mr. An wants to know who he should speak to,
Thank you very much.
I need his,
unless you want to talk to Mike, either way.
what's his name?
The
name.
principal?
Yeah.
Principal is,
Principal is Mr. Cho right here.
Oh, all right, I need the spelling of your name and your signature.
It's on the first page,
Young, P-Y-U-A-G, W,
yeah,
period,
Byung Cho.
C-H-O.
Right here, okay.
You got a seat for Mariama somewhere?
Yeah, right here.
Okay.
There'll be a space here, if, Lucian, if you wanna stay there, we can.
It's okay, I'm roaming around this meeting.
If any latecomers came here for 161 Duane, that's been postponed? Nope. Okay.
I need someone to sign this, the principal.
You ready for, okay. Call the question, all in favor?
And take a picture of it.
Let him sign it.
Sign,
Who's counting?
sign a phone number.
Are you two are not, you two came late, okay. So, 1, Karen is, you're not, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in favor. Anybody opposed? Abstain?
Abstain.
3 abstain, and public members in favor? That's it. There's no abstentions and no negative. You got two public members in favor. Two.
Mine is because I wanted to reserve judgment till we find out what's going on.
That's why we love you.
Yeah, I was gonna say good old Mark.
You missed, we had the first time
Oh, no, we missed
occurrence.
you?
No,
Yeah,
no,
we missed you.
for this license, we had a first-time situation.
What
Never
happened?
before.
You're welcome back. You'll tell us.
Yeah.
We normally have a notary here, but he's not here. Ourselves up, that 241 is just a liquor license, we've already approved cafe.
Well, I took a picture of it, so if you can notarize it.
So you really can't.
Yeah,
I know.
we took a picture of it, yeah. Okay, she's on. Yeah. Yeah, that's fine, thank you.
So any minute.
Thank you.
All right, we're gonna skip to 241 West Broadway. Anybody? Yeah, hi. Now, we've already approved, basically, you're applying for the liquor license for the cafe, which had hours of 11?
10 on weeknights, 11 on Friday and Saturday.
So you just want the liquor license attached to that. So
What's the address?
241 West.
this is Frenchette.
I have one packet.
Oh, right.
So-
Oh, yeah.
In general, I think what we've been trying to do is once we approve the cafe, we approve the liquor, even though he has to come back.
I did notice in the packet the
Yeah.
hours are still wrong, so I have
Oh.
to stipulate.
That's no good.
Yeah, that changes them to the ones we agreed on.
Okay. Oh,
So-
you had the original.
Yeah. It's actually new and it was never changed.
Okay, because
So-
the cafe hasn't opened yet, not in the middle of this
No,
season.
certainly not.
Okay. Anybody have a problem with just approving the liquor, the licensed hours to the cafe, what
Can
we
I see?
already
What were
approved
the
for
hours
the
again?
cafe? 10 and 11. 10 Sunday through Thursday,
Oh,
and
right.
11 PM
This is
Friday and
walking
Saturday.
Again, this is the same
Yep.
packet that we used. I guess they never changed.
Check size on cafe though?
Sunday through Thursday, 10 a.m. to 11 p.m.
No, 10 to 10.
10 to 10.
That's wrong, we changed that
Oh,
when he
okay.
came.
Yeah, that's the
Here's the,
stipulation.
Oh, okay.
Just have to sign it.
Did I complain
Yeah,
about
well,
these signatures before?
you
On
did.
this one?
Yeah.
So then they
We
were-
said when we would come back next time, when we're trying to change hours, we would get once people in the building.
Are they
So-
here?
No,
When they're changing
when
the
we're
hours?
changing the hours.
Oh, okay.
Sorry,
Because
I would have.
Check that to sign.
I don't think it's, you're gonna be filling this out, or you can fill
This
this
is
one out.
incorrect, Mark.
So this 2 AM is wrong?
This is the right.
That's-
That's the indoor.
This is
time.
correct. This is what he brought last time, and then we negotiated it down, I guess, an hour.
For the lights.
All right, so this is not relevant.
Right, this is just,
Okay,
The
yeah.
only thing that's not relevant are the hours.
okay.
The plan, the floor
And it's
plan.
a restaurant? It's a restaurant?
Yeah.
Okay.
French restaurant.
DJ,
No.
live music?
Nope.
Recorded music? No?
No speakers outside.
Okay, dancing?
No.
Performances, cover fees, promoted events?
I don't know why I'm here.
When were they bought?
Any French door windows?
No.
I mean, our resolution can refer back to the cafe resolution.
But this is the sidewalk that we're doing.
And I have to ask about
This is
your young
the
lady, how is she doing?
liquor part of the sidewalk
Okay. Sidewalk.
cafe.
The young lady?
You already,
Yeah, last month.
Boss of the house.
We
Cafe
did this,
part.
the
Yeah,
actual,
yeah, yeah.
She's,
okay.
did you get the
she's all right.
DCA approval?
Yes, we
Oh,
sent, we
good.
went yesterday.
Great,
Keep it good
okay.
life.
Congratulations.
Dad, do this.
This is for the sidewalk cafe.
It'll get worse if she gets older.
What type of restaurant is it?
French.
Frenchette.
French,
Oh, thank you. Chef's one of the good tonight, but they have to work.
I'm meeting night.
Can you look at this, see if you're okay? And then, initial next to your name, so, we know, and date it, so we know it's revised.
Yeah.
I saw the agenda last night and I saw so many stuff. I said, damn, it's going to be a long meeting. But then all these were
April's gonna be a long meeting.
yeah, it's going to be a long
You signed, where you printed your name?
Oh, not,
No, that's for the notary. Yeah, where you printed your name, initial or sign and date, so we know it's revised. And then,
I'm gonna take a photo of it and then give it to you.
Sometimes it's that bad.
Oh, I notarize it and then mail it back to you? Yeah, okay.
sorry, so.
What are we doing in downtime?
I still don't understand that. actually something.
Thanks very much.
Okay,
So if
thank you.
somebody orders a screwdriver on the mezzanine, what stops them from taking it?
All right, jumping around some more. We're gonna go to 385 Broadway. Oh, did we have a vote on that? No.
Yes.
We did not.
Call the question?
Sorry, pardon me. All in favor of that last thing, if you can remember that far.
You mean
The liquor.
The bar, yeah, the liquor
The
license.
liquor for the sidewalk.
The sidewalk cafe.
Okay, anybody counting up?
Which are you?
That's all,
No, I voted, I said yes. I raised
Okay.
my hand.
so 1, 2, 3.
Francis.
Francis, are you 4? Tally?
Yes,
5,
sorry.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 in favor. Any members, committee members against, abstain? Down with the hands. Public members in favor? 2 in favor, meaning no abstentions and no recusals.
2 in favor, and 11
board members in favor. Yeah. Thank you.
Are one of these pre-filled out in here or no?
I think I have one.
Okay.
Actually, I don't know.
Sure.
Pass, you can pass it. Thanks.
Oh,
Here's something else side of the
My pen?
table. Well, is everything gonna be finished?
all right.
Here's
That always happens.
Thank you.
They bring extras.
I know this building.
No, I'm fine, thank you.
Okay, all right, we do somewhat filled out, okay.
So it's a right?
Not necessarily.
Will they call us facilities? You guys, do they all got one? Yes.
This is maybe unrepresented.
All right, I'll start
I just
off.
want to let you know.
Okay,
It's first, somebody's survey.
so just let me ask, are there residents here about this one, or 385? Okay, a lot. All right. Okay, we're gonna hear the presentation.
Yeah, thank you. Ready for me?
Ready, and you will all get a chance to speak. First, we're probably gonna ask Donald questions when he's done, or the applicant, who's here. All right, go ahead.
Okay, thank you, everybody. My name's Donald Bernstein. I represent the applicant. And let me introduce you to Haley and Colleen Brooks, who are the creators of what is going to be High Court, a members facility, a members club at 385 Broadway. I first met them at another community board meeting over 2 years ago. This project that they have created and spent a lot of time creating has been in the works for a number of years. It's a twist on some private members clubs. When I first met them, they said it is a combination of Equinox meets Soho House, but it's really not either. It's really not either. It's really something that's special. They spent a couple of years developing it. They spent a number of years looking for a site and believe that they've come up with a really great building to open this private members club on Broadway between Walker and White. The building, as you see here, is currently boarded up. It's an eyesore. It's been vacant for, I believe, about 4 years. It's an entirely commercial building. They are going to, it was built in 1875, and there's actually a very interesting little story about the owners of the building, that they're the original builders of the building, that they're going to tell you about. You can see on the first page of what I handed out a rendering of what we're going to do to the facade of the facility, and we are going to be taking the entire building. In a minute, Haley's going to take you through the floor plans. It's 5 stories. We're going to be using the entire building, but we're not licensing the whole building. It is not all going to be used for food and beverage service. There's going to be a lot of programming. This is a social house with a focus on wellness and fitness. It is sort of a third home space outside of your home, outside of your office. You can go to this members club. So there's going to be a lot of programming and various uses. The only food and beverage space is going to be on the 4th floor and the 5th floor. There's a small rooftop. I know that's going to be a concern. We're going to talk about that. We'll get to that and we'll discuss it. But when we take you through the floor plans, we can take you through the lower floors as well, even though they're not licensed, because we want you to see how it's going to be operated and what's going on there. We've got a terrific team. Samira is here, and she has been, she's going to be the operations executive, and she has over 30 years' experience in hospitality, hotels, spas, and health clubs. We had Natalie, who didn't make it tonight, but Natalie is our food and beverage consultant. She works for Silkstone. They are a hospitality and lifestyle company. They own Fat Radish, which is a very popular restaurant downtown. They're going to be opening another restaurant on 9th Avenue. Very experienced food and beverage operators, and they're going to be working with us to develop the food and beverage program. A general manager will be hired, but not until we get closer to opening. What else did I want to tell you? There are certain advantages to a private members club, and let me tell you how it works. And we had another private members club at 100 Church Street that I did last year, and talked about some of the benefits of that. This is not open to the public, and we think that that is a benefit to the community. What does it mean? There will never be lines outside. There will never be crowds outside. We can control who comes in. We can control who our members are. Oftentimes, we present to a community board and we say, well, we're going to appeal to, people 35 or older. And the response is, well, how do you know who's coming? You don't really control who's coming. The members club, you can. And they'll talk a little bit about how that is going to work. The other true benefit of a members club is there is a code of conduct. All of these membership clubs have a code of conduct that a member must sign. And if they violate that, and that means respect for the facility, for the neighborhood, for the other patrons, for the employees, for the neighbors, and if anybody violates that, you can eject them from the club. And unfortunately, that could happen from time to time. But it gives us control over the membership. It gives us control over who's there. We also can cap the membership. There are a lot of things you can do with a members club that you cannot do with a bar, restaurant, or even a hotel. And it's a great benefit. I can tell you, even in neighborhoods where I have clients, neighborhoods that are a little difficult, like meatpacking and other areas, the members clubs are not the problems. They're the ones that have more control. So it's an important thing to keep in mind. The neighborhood is mixed residential and business. Broadway, of course, a major thoroughfare. There are some residential buildings. It's not residence after residence.
Yes, it is. It is.
Okay.
That's why
It's a mix. Let's at least say it's mixed. The building, as I said, has been vacant. Okay. It's been vacant for 4 years.
Downtown.
There are a lot of vacancies within 2 blocks. I think we've counted and given you a map that within 2-block radius, there are about 26 store vacancies in the area. This building is an eyesore, and we are going to change that and I think do something that is going to help the community. With that, let me turn it over to Haley.
Haley's going to help us take a look. I thought it would be really good. My name is Colleen Brooks.
Okay.
To give you a little idea of who I am, where you're hearing this idea from. My sister Haley and I have been CD1 residents for 7 years, living down on Wall Street for a long time, and now we moved over to Chinatown.
A little louder, please.
Now we moved over to Chinatown after 7 years in CD1, and we targeted downtown Manhattan as where we wanted to start this stuff for a lot of reasons. But it was really this building that we found. I was walking by on my way to my job in Midtown. I was still working in finance. It was just about 10 years at a desk job, and I saw this building. I'm like, that is where I want to be inside of. And they had this huge sign across it that said, for rent 30,000 square feet, and I never had any idea that I would be able to come up with an idea, convince the landlord to rent it to us, and the idea of improving New Yorkers' quality of life.
So, I'm sorry, you're renting the whole
Yes,
building, you
we're
don't
renting.
own the whole building?
Nope, the owner of
Okay.
the building is
All right.
is here with us too, so
Okay.
we're renting the building.
The story that Dom was referring to was when it was built in 1875. It was built by 2 sisters.
Okay.
And
All right, no,
taken
just
over.
being clear, okay.
Yep, we're renting it. So the idea of improving New Yorkers' quality of life is the New Yorker who is work gym home, work bar home, work home, and we're trying to give a space for young millennials, for people who are wanting to plant their be in New York and stay here,
For us people.
and have a place that is not just a bar and a restaurant. And the core thesis is not just a bar and restaurant. You don't want to just go and have a drink. And we're creating programming around intelligently spending your time, presentations, panel talks, things that will help you experience culture in New York, partnering with art galleries in the neighborhood and having the ground floor space be somewhere that the public can come and experience something new to the neighborhood instead of an empty storefront. We can go through the different floors. The second floor is the locker room, where anyone who's using the fitness facility can shower before and after. So we've got men's, this is not a licensed space, but we just want you at least to be able to see it. We got men's and women's locker rooms here, and this is Broadway. The third floor is our fitness area. Again, not a liquor licensed area. A member will come up, drop their stuff in the locker room, and then take a class on one of these floors or work out with a trainer here. Broadway is to your right again. And the fourth floor is the library lounge. So it's a space where you can open up your laptop on the weekend. You want to get out of your 500 square foot apartment like myself and meet a friend. This is a coffee bar, regular coffee bar. And then in the evening, it will turn into cocktails. And we'll have pre-packaged food that'll be there that you can pick up after your class or if you're going to sit down. There's not tables and tables of people eating and drinking. It's go there, get rosé on tap, sit down, and it's not like an active live space. It's an amenity like a hotel lobby would have, a bar in the back corner. And then the fifth floor is our restaurant floor, where we are partnering with Natalie Frion from the Fat Radish and developing a farm-to-table, healthy, New York healthy style restaurant. This whole area here, unfortunately, is all the kitchen, so it's a great space where the kitchen's going to be there. Bathrooms, so we've got the bars here on the corner, on the front of Broadway. 2 lounge areas, so if you're waiting for your table, right. If you're waiting for your table, you can sit and wait for your friends there. Here is the restaurant, and this is a private dining area.
Is it a full-service kitchen or just a prep kitchen?
It is a full-service kitchen here, and then there's a secondary one in the basement to support walk-ins and extra thing. But full-service menu is going to happen on this floor.
And what is the capacity of the private dining?
You have the menu.
The menu it appears more like a.
It's pretty skimpy.
So you'll have a stove and with venting.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about the venting.
And is that you're gonna have, or is it just gonna be prepping cold and heating foods up?
So what was the question? There's going to be
kitchen.
full black iron ducted kitchen.
To the roof?
Exhausting to the roof.
Okay,
Correct.
okay.
You're exhausting to the roof, but you wanted to have a rooftop event space.
Yes, the exhaust is coming up to the rear of the building, right here.
Where you have residences.
So the rooftop,
It's actually up against it.
We'll get to it.
We'll get to it, yeah.
so
It's gonna be chaotic enough, let's just.
So the rooftop, as you see, most of this is mechanicals here. There's only a small amount, and then you have the stairwell here. It's only a very small amount of the space here that is really usable.
What is the capacity?
The capacity, I think the maximum capacity is like 60. There are maybe 40 some odd, room for 40 seats. There's not going to be any bar up here. There's no music outside.
Are they allowed to take their drinks up there and sit?
People would be allowed to take a drink up here. This is going to be used during the day. There'll be programming, there'll be yoga.
During the day, but they can, is there a time?
Well, yeah, so the answer is, my clients met with some of the people that live, I think, at 395, maybe some other buildings, and I think Colleen lives right by a bar, or over a bar.
Yeah, I know what
So
it's like to hear noise all night.
the last thing we want to be is a problem for anybody in the community. So we think this is great space. We think it would be a great amenity for our members. But we don't want to create a problem. So we are, and most of the use is going to be daytime and early evening. So we're amenable. We put in the papers closing at midnight. Forget that. Let's not do that. Let's agree that we can close it at, say, 8 p.m. We'll come up with anything that is fair and reasonable so that it won't be in any unreasonable disturbance. Give us some use during a portion of the day for some reasonable period of time. We don't want anybody calling us and saying, I can't sleep because you have people on the roof.
Exactly.
So, yes, we are definitely agreeing to making that compromise.
All right, hey, that's probably interrupting your presentation, but we got a bunch of questions. Go,
Okay, point of
Karen first and then
privilege.
Jean.
Since I live very close to you, and I've been there for only 32 years.
That's
okay?
all?
So I think, I'm gonna distribute what I think is a much more accurate presentation of where people live in the neighborhood. I must say that the piece of paper from which this was originally drawn is one of the most misleading things I've seen in a long time. There are, on the other side of the street, over 200 residential units. There are, on the same side of the street, over 100 residential units. I can do this with my eyes closed. The easiest example to see of how they did this is they were looking only at the ground floors. My building, where I live, is listed as a food market. It's not a food market, that's only the first floor.
Right.
There are 35 apartments in that building. 376 Broadway has over 160 families, that's Mandarin Towers. 395 can speak for themselves, but they have 65 units. And further down the block, spaces that were listed as clothing store with residential in back. The residential fronts on Broadway, they have 53 units, and the one on the corner of Broadway and Franklin has 28. And then there's across Franklin.
In the application, I did
Excuse
exactly
me,
what you did.
don't cut
And
me off. You'll have your chance. You've had plenty of
Fair
chances.
enough.
And across the street at 361 Broadway, the Shigeru Bond Building is also going to be occupied. It too will be residential. So that any roof disturbance or any other disturbance, late nights, lines, people calling Ubers and Lyft, people honking in the street, people carousing in the street, will be a terrible problem for hundreds of us who need to get to sleep early and live in a peaceful neighborhood. We've had our problems in the past, we know what this is like, and we will go to whatever lengths we need to go to prevent having a repeat of what happened at the corner of Leonard and Broadway several years ago.
Just respond to the.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, just, we attached something to show that there were at least 31 residential buildings, so we're not trying to misrepresent anything. The people that did this plan is a company that does it for purposes of 500-foot rule, so they are only looking at stores because that's what their job is. They're just looking for ground floor. But we did identify residential buildings in this. I just want to be clear, there's no intent to misrepresent anything.
Okay, Jean?
I work with the Tribeca Alliance Partnership, whose sole goal is to find a remedy for all the vacant small businesses that have had to leave Tribeca because they've been priced out of their small businesses. What do you plan on the ground floor? What happens?
That's your question?
Yes.
Sure. So the ground floor is split in two. There's a north side and a south side. The south side is a art gallery space right now. We're clearing it out, and a lobby for our members to enter. And then there's a and Q&A and queue for the cars. If they're going to be leaving the building, if they're meeting a guest, all activity happens on the south side of the ground floor. And the right side of the ground floor will be an extension of our fitness or our programming.
So you don't add anything to the vacancy rate. It's just a space for you.
The ground floor is public, so the art gallery is a public space.
The gallery is there now?
That's what we're going to be developing. The building is completely empty.
Right.
You're putting it in an art
gallery. You're planning. You have a tenant.
I'm the tenant.
You're the tenant. You're the art gallery.
Yes.
Is this 500 foot?
It's in,
Yeah.
It is.
When we did the survey, there were two licenses within 500 feet. There might be another place that opened.
This one over here is the Au Cheval, the burger place, just opened up for
There's one
business.
that just opened, so.
Yeah, I think you've got more than,
There's three.
Where did it open?
Cortland Alley and Walker.
the hamburger.
The hamburger place just opened up.
There's a date on there. This was done February 6th.
Well, let me just ask a couple of questions. You say that you will have rules for the members. You don't have those yet, right? It's not something we can see. How do people get to be members? Can members bring in guests?
So all of those
How do you control it?
So all of those plans are being memorialized right now. My function with Haley and Colleen is to provide that kind of guidance. My bio is in there. I was the CEO of the Reebok Sports Club New York and Sports Club LA. We had 10 locations across the country. Worked for Ritz-Carlton hotels for 10 years. So I'm bringing the hospitality, fitness, spa, membership, partnership here. And so we're very, very concerned about how we document what our behavioral expectations are of our members. And so we're very happy to share that with you when they're finished, but they are being worked on right now. And they will mirror something similar to what we had at Reebok Sports Club and Sports Club.
So do you have promoted events there?
Promoted events in what way?
In other words,
Let's say
a charity wants
to
to rent out, or a member wants to have a party, or...
If it's private, if it's licensed, if those floors are licensed as a private members club, it cannot be leased out for
No, but can a member, like you on the top floor of the restaurant, you had a private dining room.
A member can,
12 seats?
And then have people that are not members come to the...
There would be a limit as to the number of guests, I think you were too. So any member can have no more than 2 guests, and the member has to be there. I can't be a member and say, Jeff, just go say you're my guest.
Can you just clear up a couple, so you're not going to have promoted events?
No.
Just let me clear this up real quick, all right, so we can get past it.
Okay.
All right. DJs?
It said DJ.
I thought I saw yes,
I saw
explain.
yes, DJ.
Yes, the idea of the
Let's
DJ
explain
is
that.
the exact same concept. If I were to plug my iPod into the speaker system that's hooked up to the wall, if we have a DJ, their
It's a music
output
programmer.
would just plug right into there.
They're not the
Curated
entertainers.
music.
They're
They're not
Yeah,
the
curated.
We're not,
People
there's no
aren't there to
DJ
see it.
booth, there's no guy with headphones, there's nothing like that.
Just music selection.
Live music?
Live music they would like jazz during brunch maybe, something like that. It's no bands, it's going to be very simple.
I think that's not on the rooftop, that's like.
No music on the rooftop at all. No recorded, no music ever on the rooftop.
All right, I need a better description of the live music.
We called it ambient music. We don't want to detract from other guests' experience and the way that the house is set up. We can't have one single event happening at once. The purpose of the space is so that you have somewhere to go during your day whenever you need a space to crash, and if there is a loud event happening, that would kind of be against the point for our members. So if there was to be music, it would be adding to
Jazz or acoustic live music?
Jazz trio, acoustic.
Trios, jazz trios?
We don't have anything set up to
And you'll have
support
recorded
stage
music, I guess,
Yes.
right?
Background
What about
recording.
dancing?
No.
No dance.
And so, these jazzes will be scheduled performances,
During the day, yes.
and there's no fee, it's just the membership fee, right?
Right.
What is the membership fee?
The membership is $285 a month.
It's irrelevant.
And music,
We were
you know the
interested.
background music,
There's
none of this
confused,
will
there's a
fill
lot
outside.
of information.
Which
here.
we don't, which none of us belong
There's a
to.
lot of information.
And you have no,
Confused things.
that building doesn't have any mezzanines, as far as I know.
You can't do it.
And I think that,
No, you have to wait, you'll have your chance.
just to pick up on questions on membership.
Donald, yeah. Hang on,
You'll have your time to
Anyone
ask.
talk about drawing members?
hang on.
Jeff?
We'll come to you
Yeah,
guys
you'll have your
in a
time.
moment, okay?
Drawing members from
I know.
Yeah. Is this a question? Is that an appropriate time
my
for
question.
me to talk
Yeah,
about
why
that,
don't you
or
do that,
I
and
don't
then
wanna
we will
interrupt?
open
What are we
this up.
talking about?
I'm not sure, but then we'll open it up to the crowd here. Okay, so go ahead.
So I think there was a question about how we will attract membership and how we'll make sure that we're curating it from the neighborhood. I believe that's the question that I'm answering. If I'm out of line, I'm happy to redirect. I think we're very conscientious of the fact that both Colleen and Haley, when they selected this building, really wanted the community in Tribeca to be brought in. So we are going to be very conscientious about making sure that as we're looking at membership applications, that we have a good representation of the neighborhood. We are not looking to bring in people from everywhere else except for Tribeca. We are very much hoping to be a community hub in the neighborhood for people who are either working nearby or living nearby. This is going to be extension of their home. That's what we're trying to create.
Are you more of a fitness club or a social club?
We're both.
I know you're both. Do you see it just,
I would say
leaning
we're
one way or
calling it
another?
intelligent leisure. We've actually kind of come up with our own term because fitness denotes something very specific and social club denotes something that's exclusionary, and we're neither one of those things. So intelligent leisure is what we've actually trademarked, and so it's something that is inclusionary and very much part of where you get to go and learn something. You can work out if you want to. You can hang out with your friends, all very much together.
No, go ahead.
No, so it seems to me that the bulk of the activities are non-drinking specific, but that's a relatively small portion, not only of the physical space, but of the activities that one can engage in.
It's an amenity that offers far more than a restaurant or a bar.
It doesn't sound like this is something that's geared toward becoming a disco type thing.
I suspect that neighbors are going to be concerned about the roof.
The rooftop, right,
So I
that's
think
the
that's what
main
you really
trigger.
need to talk about.
Yeah.
So what do you envision and how are you going to make sure there's no disturbance?
If you bring the map back out again, you can see it. I think it's just under 1,000 square feet. It's going to, it's all mechanics.
This portion of the south side we're not occupying, as well as the entire front facing Broadway here. It's mechanical and not occupiable, so we have less than a third of the roof that we're actually going to be occupying with just space for people to be able to sit outside during their day.
Just during the day?
Well, I think as Dawn said at the beginning, we're very conscientious about the fact that this may be contentious for our neighbors. So if there is something that is acceptable in terms of if you want us to stop serving at sundown, if you want us to be, we are very open to that. We are not pushing to say, look, we want this to be until midnight. That's not the message at all. The message is we have a restaurant on the 5th floor. We think it would be reasonable on a summer evening for someone to walk upstairs at 5:30 and finish their cocktail before they come downstairs for a 7 o'clock reservation for dinner.
Now, your photo showed yoga on the roof, right?
Yeah, there's no bar.
All right, so what time does the yoga start?
We've already rejected a facility that wanted to do yoga outside.
What time does it start on the roof?
We don't have our class scheduled yet. I had no idea that yoga in the morning was a disturbance.
It can
no
be.
Music.
Well,
any kind of noise can
when
be.
there's yoga, there's music.
I just said no music.
And there's no music, there's no loudspeakers on the roof at all.
No permanent or portable.
Let me just point out that we don't really approve rooftops.
Rooftop activity.
Period.
What time is reasonable for a yoga class to start?
No.
We don't like
you're not
outside
listening to me.
activities.
We don't approve rooftops.
Right.
Period.
Outside, no. It's really not something that we
That's only if there's alcohol.
approve. And
There's
the
only
community
if
is not
there's
just Tribeca, the community are many areas. So I have a little bit of a problem with this exclusionary kind of conversation where it's just Tribeca. There are a lot of us who live in the area. We've lived here, like I've lived here for 42 years. So I would hope you're reaching out to attract all of CB1, not just Tribeca,
We
number
lived
one.
in Fidei for 6
And
years.
older, and
Not just millennials.
and not just millennials, right. That's the other thing, not just millennials. There are older people who might be interested. So when you talk to this about the facility, because right now all you said were millennials and Tribeca. So that's just one thing. How many members do you think you have to get to actually make this business work?
We'll open with about 1,000 members, and we will probably get to about 2,500, maybe up to 3,000 memberships, depending on utilization.
Do you have subscriptions already?
We do not. No, we wanted very much to come here, and this is kind of our debut in terms of what we're doing. We've had people express interest who know us and know what we're doing, and we have a list of names and emails that when we're ready to go to market, we will certainly go to those people first, but this was very clear to us, and I'm sorry if I misspoke and just said Tribeca. That was certainly
Knows all of you.
that was not intentional, and I am not a millennial. I am right in there, and I am very proud of that, and I certainly would not say that we're only attracting millennials. We certainly want
Because we do need activities for seniors.
Yes, when I said a curated, it would be welcoming everybody, and that's what we're trying to do. We've even thought about, look, there are gonna be people who maybe 285 is not the right number for them, but they would be additive to the community. And we have a scholarship program that we're very proud of, that we really wanna have, because we want people in the neighborhood and around wherever.
Well,
those
just keep in
particular-
mind that there are a lot of seniors that live, we've all, like I said, I've been here 42 years. We've aging in place, hopefully, and there are, you know, you need facilities and activities for seniors.
Yes,
It doesn't mean they have to be free, but,
No,
so
no.
program.
Let's open this
Yeah.
up to the neighborhood at
Right.
this point. I don't know who wants to speak first. You want to go from that side, or?
You had something you wanted to
Go ahead,
say.
go ahead.
I just want to hand out some
So
paperwork.
identify yourself
My name
and
is
where
Jeff
you.
Dietrich. I'm a resident in 395 Broadway. My wife and I live on the 8th floor, 395 Broadway. Here is the picture on the sheet of paper of the rooftop location where activities are being proposed. Yep, sure. I include on the left-hand side of the page the locations of all the residences that are
We'll
within
share over here.
immediate vicinity
That's all right.
of this site.
Oh, just
That's fine, I see.
Yeah.
Does everybody have one of these?
Yes. Yeah,
Does
we're
everybody-
fine. We're very good.
So,
From his
my
window, I
wife,
think.
my wife and I are really happy that we have. She's 5 months pregnant. We have a little girl on the way. So we were really excited to be living in the neighborhood for a long time and to raise our children in the area. And Colleen and her sister, you know, they came out and they were in front of the building last week or a week and a half ago, and they were so sweet and talking about how they want to improve the community and you know, make a positive difference and create a great third space for people. And so that's awesome. That's great. And then you know, kind of as time passed, I looked a little bit closer and I thought, well, it's a whole building. That's 22,000 square feet. That's a lot of people you got to get in there to fill up that space. And like you said, it's about 3,000 people or so that you're looking at for the membership. And if you walk down our block and you live in that neighborhood, you know that right now we can't get the sanitation department to clean up Joey Pepperino's trash basket, which is overflowing with you know, dirty slices of pizza and paper plates all day, every day. What's that?
And rats.
Yeah, and rats. We have the big bus tour around, you know, the double-decker buses. We have one of those that literally stops right in front of that green shed. And most days during the week,
Are they licensed to stop there?
Yes.
Probably.
yeah,
Let me know.
and then we also have an MTA bus stop on the other half of the block, and then we got FedEx and UPS and who else? What's the German company? We got the German company too. We got DHL. They're all pulling up their trucks, and then we got 30 contractors pulling up trucks. You can't even walk down the sidewalk without putting up your elbows, you know, and fighting your way through. But you know, we decided to live on Broadway, so c'est la vie, right? That kind of comes with the turf. But, you know,
Over that
makes
end
you
of
a
the
little
table, be quiet, please.
That makes you a little bit more mindful of what's happening. And then you think about the character of the neighborhood, which, albeit a commercial district, I think it's a C62A, which permits mixed buildings. If you look at the map on the left-hand side, this is just a screenshot of the immediate vicinity, and I forgot to actually capture the Lispinard wall, you know, the Lispinard section of this photo here. But this is a fundamentally residential neighborhood. And you know, as your board member, Bill member was saying, you know, there are thousands of families and thousands of children here, and no matter how you slice it or dice it, 60 to 70 people on a rooftop that is literally surrounded by people. Many of these buildings don't have two-pipe heating and cooling. We open up our windows in the summertime. We have to even open up our windows in the wintertime because we have gas heating that you can't really properly regulate. And the noise of the city is tough. But as you can actually see on the second page, I highlight that from 395 Broadway, it's 22 feet where 70 people will be situated. There's probably not 70 people in this room right now. That's a lot of conversation. It's a lot of conversation. That's a lot of noise. 7 a.m. is the time they ask to come in, 12 p.m. is the time they want to change it. A lot of people in the building have children, that are home during the day. A lot of us, if you look at the zoning regulations, a lot of these buildings, it's actually work from, they're locked. So a lot of people work from their residences, and many of us work from our residences as the working culture has changed over time. I know that amongst those from our building that are here, there's probably 50% of us actually work from home. So this would be, and I don't want to even get into the sense that would be coming from a fourth floor rooftop event. Sorry, am I over talking?
I have a question for you. Everybody here lives in the neighborhood. We all know what the neighborhood is like.
Yep.
We all work and do this kind of nonsense. So, is your main objection the roof? I mean, what if there were no rooftop?
Yes.
Do you still object to
roof
the?
is just such a disruptive element.
Do you still have problems with 3,000 people coming in and out?
It's not going to be
Well,
it's not 3,000.
Whatever.
The legal occupancy is way under 3,000.
Okay.
3,000 members, they're not all coming in the
What's
same.
the occupancy?
I understand.
What's the
I am
occupancy?
fundamentally concerned.
I think the
I'm sorry,
license
Jeff, hold on
space-
one second.
I think the license space is maybe 300. If
Okay,
you
so
take all the floors
300 is the
together,
occupancy.
the maximum legal is something like that.
Where's that
So-
3,000 membership?
I think
Well,
what
but
said
they
is
won't all
that
be there at
the
the same
maximum
time.
number of members we will admit would be 3,000, but you remember, a club, you're not going to go,
Clubs
you're not coming there.
generally see somewhere between 15 and 20% of their members on a daily
Right.
basis.
Okay.
Well, that's like
So,
600
let me
people.
ask-
So how do you?
Over the
Okay.
course of all
All
the
right.
hours that you're
Okay,
open.
so you'd somehow regulate the occupancy,
The DOB
So
does,
it-
right? We only can have a certain number of people in the building.
but if you've got, X, that's whatever the,
I
what I'm
can
trying
tell
to
you
say.
that I've done a number of clubs and I've never had an issue. It just,
Okay,
just
works
works
itself out, okay, all right.
So we have an occupancy of 300 at one time. Let me ask you about the
That
rooftop.
sounds really low for 22,000 square feet though. For the whole building?
The license
no,
space.
that's just the license
Oh, the
space.
license space, okay.
The floors where we have food and beverage.
Okay.
Now, I don't know, because we have to be consistent with past things we've done, outdoor yoga. Would it be acceptable to you to negotiate something with respect to yoga only, no mics, no loud talking? I mean, my understanding of yoga is it's a very
But we didn't
soft-spoken.
approve the yoga.
Was there alcohol involved in that
That-
one?
They were able to
That was,
take.
that was
they
a
were able
liquor
to
license
take it,
on the
right.
mezzanines, yeah,
Right.
that was a separate.
So
All right,
that,
so
I mean,
Drunken yoga masters, yeah.
Right,
that was-
drunken.
yeah, I think this is, I'm just asking a question, would it be, if, as long as it's not inconsistent with our precedent, yoga, no speakers, no loud talking, et cetera, limited to a certain number of people, not 60 at one time, and very limited hours.
Ask
I'm just
Jeff.
trying to negotiate
Ask
something
Jeff.
that would be
And
acceptable.
trying to find out what the objections are.
Yeah.
It's the
in
rooftop. The rooftop's gonna demolish our quality of life and any sanctity
Right.
that we had in our homes.
So if the roof is eliminated, not that
Yes,
it is
that would
yet,
be
but,
a fundamental shift. It would be terrific for the community to
Okay.
have an investment in the community and high
back.
quality
Okay.
programming. I think that would be great.
all right, that's,
The rooftop destroys your quality of life.
yeah. No, we're well aware of that. Do you have other points that you want to make, or should we go on? Because
I
we usually give people like
Yeah, no, I
2
will
minutes or
re-echo
so.
I will re-echo what you said about the sense, but I don't wanna monopolize time.
Well, do you have another point to make?
I can make the point.
Okay.
I am concerned, so our windows are, again, about 20 feet or less from that rooftop. I don't know, if they have a big kitchen, how is the exhaust going to work? It would be, and it wouldn't affect just us, obviously, the
Well,
exhaust would
there are laws for, couldn't quote it, but Mark, you might be able to, but the venting
How
has
high
to
up they have to
go,
vent.
like, I think at least 10 feet away from any,
It's also, the
Any
venting is
window?
on the it's away from your building, it's on the south side of the rooftop, which is as far, best
Okay,
we can.
and I don't know if there are other residences there, and I.
It already
We're
exists.
also, we're also using state-of-the-art pollution control units which filter the smoke.
Scrubbing
This
and
is
all that
2020, year 2020 code compliant.
It already
It's
exists.
above and beyond what anyone else is doing.
It exists from previous.
Is it there now?
No.
No, you said it's
You're building it. It's
2020.
gonna be
but
brand
you're putting
new.
it
Brand
in.
new.
Brand new.
Food
South
from
is
there.
another
new.
industrial building. So just everyone look at the land use map on the screen. This will give you a good at-a-glance understanding of how buildings are being used in the general area. Orange means mixed use. Yellow is residential only. Red is commercial only, and industrial. And purple is the city planning considers it as being manufacturing industrial use, even though it's going to be commercially used in the future. So that'll give you kind of an idea of how the buildings are actually being used. What is screen on that, on that.
Open space and outdoor
Oh,
recreation.
open space, so those are
Okay.
open space lots.
They are.
They are?
They are not,
Well, that's according to city planning.
well,
They're
they're not
behind the
open.
time.
The purple, I believe most of those purple buildings have a loft zoning regulation,
Right.
and they're
Right.
primarily residential.
They're
Okay,
primarily
so in this case, it's. well,
Yeah.
I think they wanted to.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry, were you done?
Covered it for
Okay.
you?
I think that's enough.
Well articulated.
I think it would be helpful just to.
Just
Yeah.
say something
Yeah.
else. Get up and
Go
say
ahead.
it. Yeah.
I'll make a comment
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, please, identify yourself
Stand
and
We
up
are
and
concerned
support.
okay, give us your name and
Yeah,
where
stand
you
up and
are.
tell us who
Jeff
you are.
Earl at 395 Broadway.
Jeff Earl?
We are.
Jeff Ehrlich?
Earl, E-A-R-L.
Ah,
Okay.
almost.
Three Jeffs.
We are concerned about traffic on the sidewalk. There's another establishment just next door, a pop-up facility that has often raucous events that are going on in there with the street completely blocked and people hanging out.
Which facility is that?
Have you complained?
Is that M15?
Yeah.
Okay.
You haven't come to the Quality of Life Committee.
We will get your information.
Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
Concerning that.
And I'm just wondering if, so there's a pop-up store, then you guys have a public art gallery space, would there be events going on in there, open to the public, could cause another traffic jam with people on the streets, and then again, with the limited amount of facilities with bus stops and commercial traffic, parking, just the cars coming, going, and making, Uber and Lyft drivers are not the most considerate.
That was very kind.
So we're concerned about that as well with cars and traffic on the street as well. We also face that rooftop. We're on the 12th floor. There is another rooftop facility across the street that has events during the summer that are an annoyance as well. So we're very concerned about the
Which
rooftop
place
What
is
kind of,
that?
what place
White
is that?
and Broadway.
What is it?
It's at White and Broadway. It's a commercial building, but they have a whole rooftop built out. And we get the noise from that also.
They don't have a liquor license.
Fortunately,
They
it
must
doesn't
not.
happen that often, but Thursday nights in the summer, they usually have a pretty big party. And it can go pretty late.
Which building is it?
I don't know what the address is.
It's the red
It's right on
building
the
south
corner.
of.
Oh,
761.
yes, the building.
Now it's gone.
So it's much farther away than where this rooftop would be. It's-
Yeah.
I don't know if people.
All
right.
right, so we know what the issues are, why don't we try to, what do we want to do?
Well, let's just summarize. So mainly everyone, the big concern is the rooftop.
Right.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
I mean, we know the regular things like Uber and
You want the
Lyft.
roof also, that was
We gotta
what we were
talk
mostly
about
against.
Yeah,
Okay.
the smells from
That was
the,
mentioned about vehicles
All right,
driving.
so they say they're doing, I mean, and they should be doing, there are rules and regulations about the smells. And if they're doing a 20/20 kitchen, it should be vented well above you guys.
we're on the 13th floor.
Yeah,
This is 5 stories, how do
I
you
think we're
13?
above
There are
the
Tribecans that all.
Probably
Well,
till
there's
everybody
rubber
goes in.
systems now that's supposed to, we've heard about it in quality of life. I don't know, it's a different.
I
Yeah.
also,
Let's
if I
focus
may
on the rooftop.
also
Okay, go ahead.
talk, and I may be going off topic here, but there's also another rooftop that's being developed right across the street from us. We're in
Hotel.
395
Yeah,
Broadway.
yeah, we know. We
The
couldn't
other
stop
corner
there.
of Walker, and I don't know what that's gonna become. I don't know if they've applied for a liquor license
Yeah,
or
they
when they're
did,
having a
they,
hearing.
they got a license, because at that point, there were only two licenses in the 500-foot area. The chairman of the SLA said he was not gonna give them a license, because he doesn't think any rooftop should be in Tribeca. But he couldn't do, he had to, because it wasn't a 500-foot case. So it gets into technicalities of the ABC law and all that. They have something, but he limited the hours, and there's no music up there. But they will, I think the hours are maybe 10 or 11, I don't remember.
Our bedrooms are right across the street
Yeah.
from that.
Yeah. No, I went up to argue that, but that's the best we could do.
But they don't have any liquor,
Uh-huh.
and they're only talking about yoga.
Well,
correct?
they would be able to take liquor to the roof.
Well, we have to
stipulate
discuss
something else.
this. We have to make
Yeah.
stipulations.
Negotiate that.
That's the whole negotiation.
And the hours.
Why don't we just?
We wanna have the roof without
They
anything.
were
If
willing to be by
we grant them
sundown, so 6, 7
the
o'clock.
roof as
Can I address a
part
couple
of
points,
the
Jeff, before
liquor
you-
license, it
Yeah.
automatically enables them to take the liquor
Yeah,
outside.
I
That's
think.
All right,
problem.
We can't continue.
So let Donald address
Just a
some of
couple
this
of
stuff, and then let's discuss how we're gonna do
I just want to address
this.
the issue of traffic. We're going to start in the morning and end at night. The place is going to be open throughout the day. There are going to be members that are going to come during the day, and there may be some people that use it as sort of their office. I think you were talking about working from home. Some people that go to this, they like to plop down with their laptop at 8 in the morning and stay there for a handful of hours, and they get away from a spouse or children or whoever, and they can work. So, it's not like this place is just, going to be open from 5 till 1 in the morning, and everyone's coming and everyone's leaving at the same time. So we don't expect the traffic, that there's going to be a mad rush there or a mad rush out. It's going to trickle in, trickle out, and I don't think that traffic, either pedestrian or vehicular, is going to be an issue. With respect to the roof, again, unlike that hotel that was not cooperative.
There's no standing in front.
There's no standing in front also. That was not cooperative, that wasn't willing to work with you, that went to the SLA and said, we're going to go for what we want to go for. We're not here doing that. We are very sensitive to the issue. We do have petitions that I want to give you, Jeff, that are signed in support of this, and there are about 7 people from 395 Broadway that indicated their support of this application.
So I had actually signed that when I talked to the ladies out in front of our building. I didn't know about the rooftop at the time, so I'd like to retract my...
Yes, and the other people that signed it probably weren't made aware of that, so that's not...
Well, it does say there will be a rooftop open on the... reading it and... You missed it.
So I think, let's just talk about that, because from what I've heard... Well, why don't you, for your files.
Yeah, all right.
What we really want to do is try to come up with something that's fair. And that will allow us some use, some reasonable period of time, in such a manner that will not cause any unreasonable disturbance. Again, there's no bar up there, there's no music up there anytime, not for yoga, not for any programming. And we are very happy to come up with an early closing time so that, it's operated during the day, and it would not cause an unreasonable disturbance. I mean, there are going to be some mechanicals up there. We've got a sound guy that's doing a study to make sure that, the operations are not going to go above the decibel level. You've got, between the ambient traffic noise on Broadway, the mechanicals, those state-of-the-art, will generate some noise. We don't think that having, 40 to 50 people up there when it's full, which is not going to be all the time, is going to create an unreasonable burden on the community. So we'd like to engage in a discussion that would allow us some use while not creating an unreasonable burden.
How long is, what are the hours that the building is open, building itself, the entire building? From what time to what time?
7 to 11.
7 to 11.
No, it's...
No, 6
No, it's more than that. But
6 a.m.
7 a.m. Yeah.
It's open till 8 to 11 because the liquor license is till 2 a.m.
So
it's 2 a.m.
I'll just say the proposed hours on our application. It's Sunday through Thursday, so weekdays, 7 a.m. will open, and 1 a.m. will close. Friday and Saturday, 7 a.m. will open, and 2 a.m. will close.
And that 1 and 2 a.m. are for the gym facilities, correct? Not for
that
the...
is for the whole building, right?
And what time do you want to start serving liquor?
Well, not before 8.
It says 11 a.m.
Before 8.
But what do you
It says here 11 a.m.
It's 11 a.m.
No, they want to stop.
Every day?
Right, but that's inside the building, not the rooftop is...
12 a.m.
Yeah, those are indoor hours that you just gave,
Yeah, the
which
indoor
I think are
hours.
consistent with your guidelines.
Yeah, we did not go above the other guidelines and ask for
Talking about rooftop dining.
Exactly, but then.
They're willing to, they said sundown before, I
let's-
think we
yeah,
should
so
we should
let's-
jump on that.
let's
and just-
decide-
and
Right,
just
let's
concentrate
decide
on
what people can
sundown,
live with.
whether it's 6 or 7 or
Friday
whatever,
and
because
Saturday.
that's, I think, a very good compromise.
For the roof?
With no
They're telling you
noise,
they
no
can't live with
music,
anything
no,
on the roof.
no anything on the roof.
The neighbors.
But
no alcohol
they
on the roof.
brought up sundown before, so take the early part of that.
There's no alcohol on the roof, and they can do
You
whatever
know,
they
we don't give liquor licenses on the roofs.
Okay, then I'll step
I
back.
don't think
that's
there
my
should
feeling.
be any
Okay.
alcohol
Then
on
there's
the
no
roof.
alcohol
Oh, I
on the
wasn't
roof.
talking about
They can
alcohol,
do
I was
yoga
just talking
Talking
there.
about the use.
Which means then that you guys would have to monitor
Well,
keeping
then
people
I
from
don't
taking alcohol
understand
out on
this
the
piece in here,
roof.
because it says, do you intend to have rooftop dining? Yes.
Yes.
If yes, what hours will you serve liquor?
They just came off that, Francis.
But we can stipulate that that's
No,
not
no,
going to
no,
happen.
those hours.
Right, that's why we're
Yeah,
coming up with stipulations.
They stepped back on
We
that.
would, though, like to have the opportunity to have food and beverage service for the limited hours on the roof.
Nope.
I mean, if
No.
someone
No.
gets a glass of
No
wine on the
alcohol
fifth
on the
floor,
roof. No.
they can sit outside and have a glass of wine.
See, this is what concerns me.
That's-
I'm Dennis Dietrich, I'm no relation to
Oh,
Jeff.
wait, no, no, no.
I'm also at 395 Broadway. I'm a little concerned with the mission drift here. When we allow someone to take a cocktail upstairs, how does that not become 50 people?
Right.
And
now they're getting excited because they're
Then,
having
when
cocktails. That's
somebody
very
gets to
different from
take
yoga.
a sandwich upstairs, how does that not drift into food service?
Right.
I'm a little concerned with that, because
Okay, I
when you
think
get
we've gotta
50 people, they
stipulate
make
no
noise.
food and
My
beverage
window,
outside.
by the way, see this little fly speck right here? That's my window.
No
It
food,
overlooks
no
this
food
roof.
or alcohol on
And
the roof.
Sir,
50
sir, I'm
people
sorry.
outside my window, I might have a little bit
We
of
never
problem
approve
with
liquor
when they're
outside, so
drinking
let's just
and
end it
eating
now. We
and
don't
moving
approve
it up
liquor
until
outside.
sundown.
Well, the one thing that is, we
Okay.
don't approve liquor outside.
All right, so we're gonna have to, so can we reach an agreement on the stipulation?
That's still carrying.
We
liquor.
understand.
We
We
don't-
got it.
Yeah, we got
That's
it.
Well, look, listen, with precedent, I don't think we've ever granted a liquor license on a rooftop, so why don't we just decide now, as a board, and move forward, no liquor on the rooftop?
Or
Is
I
that?
think no food
can
or
we-
beverages.
Yeah, no food or
beverages.
Because
That way
then
they
it
can go
becomes
out
noisy.
there to do yoga.
So
And that's it.
let's try to get this resolved, that's,
I'm sorry, but, you know, even if there is no alcohol, when you have people, when you have 50, 60, 70 people talking.
It's not gonna be 70
it's
people
noisy.
talking.
You
Okay,
hear
we'll
it.
get to that next.
yeah, we're
But right now,
trying to
we're going
move
to
through
the
all your
no
concerns
alcohol.
and.
Here's, what we had with the yoga people, if we deny the license completely, we have no control over what happens
On the roof, that's
Okay.
true.
No, they can have the,
Then they can
have
be
So
out
let
on the
me
roof
finish.
doing whatever they
So
want.
what we did,
Without alcohol.
Right,
we
right.
limited the license, and by approving the license, we basically can get some stipulations agreed to, such as nothing on the roof, if that's what we want to do.
Because it's too close.
Or
It's
if we
too
want
close.
hours. So but if we have no control over what happens on
Right,
the
if we
roof
say no.
unless we grant a license, period. Okay?
That's reasonable.
So.
I don't think any of us meant to not grant them the license to have.
Okay,
the
but
food
I'm
facility, yeah,
explaining
fifth floor.
that's what gives us
Right.
the ability, okay. And I want to read Eric Dillenberger, who showed up for the rooftop on 390. He's not quite sure what he is, a small contractor, a small developer who's dealing a lot on Walker Street. Does anybody here know Eric? Okay. Anyway, he sent in a last-minute letter. He's had a lot of comments. He wants that area to be built up. He's looking for that, but in the right way. There's a long letter, but he's ending by saying, in walking by 385 Broadway while it's under construction, I can attest to the fact that they have not taken very good care of their site or even managed to keep the sidewalk in front of their building clean. And now, this is not you people.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't have very much confidence that they will operate their establishment with any more diligence than that they conducted the rest of their affairs. And I fear they will become another 395, which he thinks is a disaster for the neighborhood, the way they did it.
396.
Yes, I'm sorry, he corrected. Correction to typos. I meant to say 396 Broadway, not 395, sorry.
Are these owned by the same people? No.
Well,
What's he
so my
comparing?
question, you're renting, does the ownership have any control over what you're doing?
Yes.
He's here.
The owner's here?
Well, they have to consent to our alterations, but we're operating, we're gonna,
You're-
once we
who's
get
in
in,
charge?
we are operating the space.
All right, are
It's
they
our
part
space.
ownership
No,
in any
no,
way?
not at all,
Okay,
just a landlord.
okay. I wanted to get that clear.
All right.
So shall we?
I think we need
Megan is our
to-
co-chair, by the way.
In case anybody-
If anybody
No, I think
hasn't
we need to
figured that out.
decide, I think we agree, to a license. Let's
Fifth
agree
floor.
on the stipulations with respect to the rooftop. No liquor, no food. What kind of hours and what activities will be allowed?
And the minimum of people also.
And I think also possibly now cap the membership if we can, and then they say.
Not
well, they-
membership of their club, but how many people allowed
At
out
one
on the
time.
roof.
On the
Yeah.
roof.
Oh, yeah, on the roof.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, cap the number of people and the hours and what activities. So what would be agreeable?
Can we just go through floor by floor? Fourth floor and fifth floor, what hours are you requesting? 11 to,
What day of the week? Sunday through Thursday, 7 a.m. to 1 a.m.
no, for liquor service.
11 a.m. to 1 a.m.
Does anyone agree to that on the 4th and 5th floor?
Yeah, that's indoors, and as long as it
Right.
doesn't bother anybody
Mitch,
else.
please.
Yes, I agree to that, and
I'm concentrating, please. Please, Mitch. We're trying to get the hours here. I don't need explanations. Please, pardon me. So 11 a.m. to 1 a.m., to 1 a.m., Monday through Thursday,
Nope, I have Sunday through Thursday.
Sunday through Thursday.
2
Okay.
a.m. Friday, Saturday.
And Friday, Saturday, 11 a.m. to 2 a.m.
There'll be liquor service.
Liquor
Right,
service.
liquor
Facility will be
Does
open
everyone agree to that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, okay, all right.
Point of information, this came up before, this will not be event space that is rentable from an outside.
We're getting to that. We have, there's a whole list of things
That's
here.
what I make sure.
Yep,
Okay.
yep.
And also, when you say no liquor on the roof, does that mean no bar on the roof?
We're not up
or
there yet.
No
can't
bar,
take any-
no use.
We're
Well, that's
gonna
what
work,
we're talking
we're working
about.
through this,
getting
so why don't
there.
you wait till we're done?
Yeah, we'll get there.
Okay,
We have to be.
let's go to the roof. What are we doing with the roof?
Well,
I think that it's more than just the liquor. 20 feet is super close. I wouldn't want it.
Right.
So I think we need to be careful about the hours too. This-
well, the options are no usage on the roof, or hours, limited hours on the roof. But I think we're agreeing.
Limited
no
hours,
liquor,
limited number of people.
No liquor.
No, I heard concerns about children's school, so like a time after kids are at school, like 9 a.m.
Well, they don't
think
start
it's
until.
reasonable.
That was what Jeff
Still
was saying.
9 a.m.
But
to
if
noon.
you don't do anything, then you might lose everything. I think to be prudent
I
is
mean,
to pick reasonable hours.
Yeah, we want our voice, but
So,
I mean, I think they can have some
20 feet is pretty
right,
heinous.
so 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock,
Jeff's clutching his
I'm
chest.
putting it out there.
Sometimes you get buildings that are just too close, and maybe when you have that situation, when it's that close, I would say nothing on the roof. That's my opinion. When they're that close, when they're that physically that close, I would say nothing.
Well, we want to put it to a vote, see who says nothing and something? You want to,
Maybe we should
can
do
we
that.
put that to a vote?
Well, before we go to the voting part, but then they have activities.
Just on that one thing. No, just on that one thing. Let's see where we are.
Let's
Let's see where we are.
They have 5 floors, there's 5 floors. It's not like one floor, they have 5 floors to do things in this building.
Right, they don't need
They don't need the roof.
amenities.
It's ideal for them, but not if you have 50
It's not really allowing the people walking on the sidewalk.
They're right next to your window.
It's 5 stories higher.
If they're just doing yoga, a dozen people doing yoga.
Yeah, they have, gyms have maximum for
Right,
class, right?
classes, right.
So you can do the
Right,
same
they
thing
can
on
set a
the roof
limit
with a
on
yoga
the
class.
Maximum teachers, 5,
It really is
20.
Okay.
12. I would say 12
I've
to
never seen anything on a roof that did, I've never seen anything on a roof that did get decisions.
How do you feel about maximum 15 people on the roof, hours of 9 to 5?
It's a
9 to 5
No
yoga.
speakers,
This is taking
no-
too long. We need to come.
Pat,
Okay,
so we're talking.
Megan has a proposal.
We're trying to talk, what about the rooftop? Maximum 15 people, hours of 9 to 5, no mics, no
I have a
speakers, no
question for
music.
them though. So if you were talking about having yoga
Yoga, so
classes,
that's
how
not
many people
talking.
were you thinking of having in your yoga class?
The rooftop is, the usable roof space is 1,000 square feet. If it's yoga to the people, you can pack it in. We're not doing that. We're gonna have 2 rows of 5 people. You know, there's gonna be like couches up
So you're
there.
talking about like 10 to 15 people for
15
yoga?
people.
So 15 people capacity, 9 to 5? Does that sound reasonable?
Yoga won't
And for
turn into
yoga.
aerobics?
Well,
No,
no
because no music.
music, no
No
mics.
music, no mics.
Right.
How does that sound?
Downward dog.
They could have a bottle of
But we're not
water.
approving,
And I
we're not approving
I would go
alcohol.
one little bit
Right,
further.
and no alcohol.
There's no alcohol.
Karen has something to
Yeah,
say.
What they can do.
Yeah,
Here,
there's-
we don't.
Well, we propose something and see if they
Yeah,
accept
I'd
it.
go one little step further. There are certain kinds of yoga that are actually somewhat martial.
Right, where they're calling out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no
But no
calling out,
calling
yeah,
out,
no
right.
Ashtanga yoga.
Right. Quiet.
No, she's right.
Quiet.
Vinyasa.
Mark,
They're
did
all
you bring that up?
quiet
There's no
yoga.
alcohol here.
Mark, meditative.
No.
So they can have older people come.
It's backwards,
No alcohol, we really can't do it.
Okay, so we're ready to kind of
Can't be
vote on
stipulation.
that part of it, which is the roof.
So what have we said?
Megan proposed.
15 people, 5 o'clock?
9 to 5, 15 people at one time, absolutely no
Can the public hear?
sound system whatsoever.
Megan, I don't think the public heard.
Okay, no more than 15 people at a time on the roof. The hours of 9 to 5, absolutely no speaker system, mics, loud.
No amplified sound of any
No amplified
kind.
sound whatsoever.
Or loudspeaking.
Is that a possible thing for you people?
That's, I should take it or leave it.
Yeah. Liquor's off the table. Food and liquor are off the table.
So, just to confirm, the roof empties at 5 p.m.?
Right,
Yeah.
yes.
That's our proposal.
Can you deal with that?
Right, they're gonna, the stipulation.
All right, well,
We can't
Okay.
stipulate what happens
All
on
right.
the roof.
If there's no-
Unless we're approving the liquor
All right.
license up there.
Right.
So just to,
So that's.
have a vote for nothing. Just get us a vote on that.
all right, so,
Can we vote on the roof separately, please? Can I call the question?
well, let's just, I don't even know about
Do you
the
want
vote.
to
Let's
do
just-
Duran's
Is everybody in
suggestion and
favor of that?
get a consensus first?
Yeah, what Daron suggested. Who's in favor of this? 15
Of
people at a
Megan's
time?
proposal.
Yeah,
What's 15, what is it?
15 people, 9 to 5.
9 to 5.
15 people, no calling out, no amplified
This is like
sound,
a
no
straw
liquor.
No amplified sound.
Yeah, it's a
straw
straw
poll.
poll.
Yes.
Straw poll.
All right, so the majority is for that. Anybody want longer hours or shorter hours?
No.
Shorter hours, okay.
Yeah, no, I would go no hours.
They want no hours.
But if they
Okay.
want
Okay.
hours,
By the
you
time
know,
people
it's-
come home from work and they're ready to
Majority.
have dinner, they should be.
Is anyone in favor of approving any type of liquor on the roof in any aspect?
No.
Any board member? All right,
No.
all right.
We've not approved it
So that's,
before.
that then the rooftop's denied for liquor.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're approving the interior
Yeah,
we presented
the
it.
hours.
Right,
You're saying
same,
no
the
liquor on
hours
the
you
roof.
want, yeah.
That's the crux of the matter, right?
They say no liquor or food.
Right,
Food,
right.
They're just gonna have their yoga classes, and, I mean, people have water, they can sit out there, and, but, you know, it's gonna be up to you guys,
If they
like,
need a drink that badly, they can have it before they go outside to the roof. I mean,
But it's also
they're-
up to you
They have
guys.
5 floors of space to
Right.
drink their stuff.
Right.
We don't need the roof.
Irrespective of
Well, they-
hours on the roof, you agree that there'd be no amplified music on the roof, no matter
That
what?
was always
Okay.
our presentation. no
Okay.
music.
no music, not
Okay.
just amplified.
They said no amplified anything, so
Right.
that covers everything.
And it's up to you guys, if
Well,
it
they have to
becomes
come
an
back in a
issue, then
couple-
you have to let us know.
There are people like me that are up till 4 a.m. in the morning and like to sleep at 9 in the morning.
Exactly.
But,
Yeah.
you know,
You can't, you gotta go with the
I
majority.
can
Gotta
sleep
go.
through a lot, I don't know about other people.
And you sleep
I
through
should,
yoga?
yeah. Actually, a lot of things.
Depends on the type of yoga.
9:05 to 5.
Okay?
So in the stipulation sheet here, if, you won't sign it if we write no alcohol on the roof, right?
We have to talk about it.
So
It's
discuss-
tough, but I don't have an answer for you now. But look, we're going to consider anything that we do because we want to work with the community, but we have to
Right.
talk about it.
Well,
Okay.
we've never granted it. Frank.
Write it in, it can always be one line if you want, but the resolution will say that.
We understand.
Yeah, okay. So have you got the other things, the,
Yeah, just a couple other things, private security, we have that, doorman?
There's no security.
No, okay.
There'll be
You said you
some
had
in the
another,
lobby checking the IDs to make sure people.
and when we have like deliveries for, good supplies, food, things like that, what are your, it's gonna be at night or are you gonna do it during the day?
No, business.
Okay, business,
And
okay.
the other thing that I would request of you is that if so you're having a restaurant and people are having guests, and some people smoke, and they'll go downstairs to smoke, would you please, I ask everyone to please have some sort of dedicated personnel to keep them quiet or shoo them, because there are lots of people who live around, and,
Yeah.
them
So no
smoking
smoking standards.
makes a lot of times, I unfortunately
They
live
smoke
across
and
the street from
talking.
a bar.
some
You know, at
places
2
put
o'clock
up
in the morning.
signs, please respect the neighborhood, and then you have to get out there and sort of point to the sign. Okay.
You said you had a previous establishment? Are you involved with a previous establishment?
Not a licensed establishment. Our consultant does 2
All right.
restaurants.
So any violation
team
of previous
does.
establishments not applicable?
Not
Okay. Okay.
All right.
We have a question.
Yeah.
Take it.
So we'll, all right, we'll take a
picture.
photo of it.
Go ahead.
But I mean, just
Oh,
review
this-
now if there's anything other than
Jeff's easy.
the rooftop issue.
Go ahead, what's your
And
question?
then we have the photograph.
The mechanical equipment is proposed to be on the rooftop on plan south of the building. Is there any reason why that equipment, just given the structure, couldn't be moved to plan north? And
The kitchen's on the south side.
There's residents on the south side of our building. There's residents on the south side of our building.
It's on the south side because that's where the kitchen worked best for the program.
Has this all gone through landmarks at this point?
It's in landmarks right now.
So it hasn't been approved yet?
You'll be getting a physical culture establishment special permit, could be assessed. Jeff, this would be a good time to let everybody here know that Pat's committee is Quality of Life Committee. She's the chair. Any establishment that breaks any of its stipulations that they've agreed to with the SLA, Pat's committee is the arbiter, and I work as a district manager with her committee to submit issues to the SLA, to follow up, and also work constructively with business owners to mitigate quality of life conditions before it gets to the SLA level, whenever possible. That's our first thing. So, but Pat, would you please recognize her as the person that will be looking at these issues, should they become
That's why I
an
said,
issue.
if there's an issue, let us know, call the office. And also, I mean, I don't expect there to be a huge issue, but if you have other issues, please call 311, please get a
Okay.
complaint number,
except for,
call the
yes,
office
yes.
and give it to
Yeah.
the
And it's my job to work through those issues, but it's also my job to make sure businesses get the service they deserve from the city of New York, so I work for you as well.
Yeah.
But, in terms of quality of life issues. I
And we
have my
want,
cards,
we want
so-
businesses in the community, but we also have to
Motion?
balance it with quality of life.
We're all on your side.
We are actually quite respectful of the process, and we appreciate you hearing us out. This is a very long session. We appreciate the members of the community that came, and I know it's hard, and we want to respect you, and we hope that you'll be members and that you'll be kind of part of the extended family. We really want to see you and include you, and if there is anything, certainly going to anybody that you need to, but we would also want the opportunity to repair anything that is incorrect, because that is how we're going to stay in the community. We'll be good community members for a long time.
That's always the best, is when it can be worked out.
We want to work it out. We don't want to get into a contentious
We
situation.
have to review the,
And
review,
I don't.
do you want me to go over
No, we're gonna vote, but thank you.
All right, should we call the
We do
question?
wish you luck, believe it or not.
No, we
Okay.
understand.
So we need a vote on this. Does anybody
Okay.
need this repeated in any way?
No.
Everybody's clear on what we're,
Voting.
okay. All committee members in favor? You want to count? Any opposed?
How many do you have?
11. 11 in favor, none opposed, not any abstentions, recusals. Public members in favor? Opposed?
They live right there.
2? Okay.
But we denied the rooftop.
I don't care. I'm sorry when it's big. I should have nothing on the roof.
We can't regulate
I
that.
kind of agree with you.
We can't regulate
The
that.
public didn't, they weren't, they were okay with what we got to.
I don't think so.
Right, but.
You can't regulate.
But if we voted that way, we might not get anything. So it was like 90%.
All right, what's next?
All right, we got 2 left.
She's busy.
429 Greenwich, 89 South.
And you can just call the office. Everything's gonna go, I work.
What do we got left?
429 Greenwich, want to do that, or 89 South?
South.
That's what we're here for. So any other issues?
I don't know, let's do Barbara's being patient, where is she?
Yeah, she's right there. She's right there, yep. Okay, we ask people if they're finished to take it outside?
Yeah. Now you have to be looking for her committee. And he'll be here, then he'll have to. But no, but they're responsible now for. Oh, yeah. That's why he's sitting there smiling, saying, yep, it's not my problem.
Give it a moment until.
He sat there the whole time.
All right. Okay, we gotta move on, people.
Yeah, but you have an issue.
Get outside, please.
Thank you.
429 Greenwich Street now?
That'll be after this. Yeah.
We're doing 89 South.
All right, everybody?
That would have been.
Okay, next.
All right.
Thank you, Mitch.
Get one more location at the Seaport. It's less than 2,000 square feet. The restaurant space is actually only 660 square feet. It's going to be a burger, shake joint.
Oh, right.
Shake Shack? Yeah, there are smash burgers, but I'm not going to say that it's not a Shake Shack. There is not even a real bar. It's a food counter where people go to order their food, order their beverage, and take it to their seat. Small little spot in that same building. We're calling it Space A. I was just told, so it's not that we were trying to conceal anything. I was just told that there's a possibility there'll be 2 tables outside, but that's a part of the license. I'm sorry, it's a part of the demise premise, so it's not a DCA matter. You're not certain that they're going to have 2.
It's not like a sidewalk cafe.
No, it's all within Pier 7, it's all Pier 7.
Yeah, and so.
Where exactly is it?
Pier 17.
Oh, it's not out on the pier.
Oh, the pier.
Okay, I'm seeing this view and I'm thinking it's there.
It's another agency. So just, I'm sorry if you can't see my handwriting, but I was told if there are tables, a small one here and a small one here, but it's all within there. Only background music.
Jeffrey?
All right, hang on, to save my confusion again. Where, is this in that same area that we talked about last time? It's in one of the corners?
One of the box, the first.
Oh, it's in the box, so it's inside out on the pier.
With the little village.
Right there. Okay.
It's actually it's the first box that you walk in, it's the first box.
So if there's like 4 boxes around, the
There's
thing
6
we
boxes.
came back for last month is in the middle.
It's in the middle. So this
So
is,
you
this
have,
is the furthest west and south.
West and south, okay.
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah.
So it's on
Because
the
the-
opposite side from the north porch.
Yeah.
Opposite side of the north, which is actually,
Okay,
you see, it's.
it's right in there.
This box.
Okay, perfect.
It's
Okay.
this box here, but it's around the interior, so when you go up the
Right.
escalators as you're going up to the roof,
Oh,
it's right in front of
there.
that.
Oh, okay.
It's inside.
Yeah, it's inside on the pier.
It's outside on the pier.
Right.
They're not making any noise.
No, they're doing an excellent job.
No
They-
neighbors,
they-
no. Yeah.
Wow, no.
So
Okay.
Mitch, you had a,
Yeah, what are
It's
the
definitely a
hours?
non-controversial
It is
area,
non-controversial.
but just for my own,
Edification.
curiosity, you have, there are no, I know there are no residential within the property and no residential buildings across from the property. But then you said you have a meeting with the co-op board.
No, that's, before any of this ever kicked off, there was a very organized meeting with the co-op board.
What co-op
about
board if there's no residents?
which building?
The
The nearest ones.
There's 117 Beekman.
Beekman is,
Oh,
the
okay.
ones right
Okay.
there on Beekman, right there.
We're
He's
just
talking
sort
about
of,
Southbridge.
yeah, we're trying
No,
to.
But
no.
I'm just going like, it says.
100 Beekman?
There's
No,
no
but
residences.
the
117
residences on
So
South Street
it's almost like it doesn't,
before they get
No, I
to
understand
us.
exactly what you're saying.
Oh,
So,
okay. I'm just going by
you're right, it's not across there, but when we met with that co-op board, we discussed our entire plan for Pier 17. So we were just including it, and
Right.
just to let you know that the public is aware.
okay.
Okay.
good point.
There's people that live close to them.
Because it just,
Yeah.
Right. That one thing didn't
So
make
it's
sense.
inside
Yeah.
the box on
All right.
Pier 17, you know, where the north
Any-
porch is, the south, that little south corner.
Yeah.
Any questions, any other questions?
No, just background.
Promoted events,
No,
Chefs feel about you.
cover fees, or
no.
scheduled performances.
Those
No.
world famous chefs.
You mentioned about the windows will be open.
With you being the,
Tell us, what is that about?
the
One second, let me just check again.
famous chef?
John
rest-
George?
Yeah, John George, Jean, or whoever it is. But he's around the corner.
Question about
Yeah.
windows.
We have to hurry up.
He's
It's
on
hot.
the northeast.
Yes, I know, I was saying the same thing. I'm like,
During
have you
warm
seen
weather,
the
they're
windows?
gonna open, it's not a window, it's like.
Past the senior book.
French door.
It's not a French.
So far.
Raise the big,
It's not
We
a
get a
garage door
little
either,
order.
is it? No. It's more like, you know, if it were
the old
warm and
Contra
nice, we'd
moment.
have the door open.
I can't hear, I can't hear.
If it were warm and nice out, we'd have the door open. That
All right.
faces the outside. But
Which way is it face? Towards the water?
Towards the water.
I wanna know what the secret sauce is.
Where's the secret sauce?
And what are the hours we're approving?
well, they're asking for Sunday, Wednesday, 10 a.m. to 1
Do you
a.m.
mind me standing?
and Thursday,
okay?
Saturday, 10 a.m. to 2 a.m.
Are we approving that?
I'm pulling you off too, boss.
It's the same as all the other
Consistent with all
restaurants.
the others.
I should have brought my fan.
Lemonade is cheaper.
This is not in what, at least I considered public space. The landmarks did.
Yeah, so we need to put sugar in it.
And stir.
What's a boozy
I'm confused, I thought it was originally slated to be something else.
No,
that's
there's
just
multiple
those are
concepts
shapes.
in that box, so.
This isn't the anti-Carmelite, maybe there's some.
So this is part of the Anti-Carmelite taste, they're doing
Do you have
multiple
another
restaurants.
previous bar, restaurant?
Well,
Did you
other
own?
than the HHC operators who are operating throughout the pier, the seafood F&B folks are related to the Carminelli operations, and as you know, they have,
Carmelite, it's
Yeah, the
part of
Dutch.
the Carmelite group.
I'm sorry, I'm drawing blanks here. Very nice
La Conda
restaurant,
Verde.
Lafayette, La Conda Verde, you know, so
Do
fine
they have
dining,
any
yeah.
previous violations of any sort?
Not that I'm aware of.
Is the boozy shake alcoholic?
Yes.
That's
It's
hence
the whole
word
nature of the
booze.
liquor license.
That's
It's
right.
related to something here, but they want to be able to have
That
spiked
boozy
milkshakes,
shake
yeah.
gets you every time.
Take the bottle and jump up and down.
Could be like soy, like vegan, like imitation.
When you get deliveries?
Yeah, that's right.
In the mornings, usually around 10 a.m. There's probably going to be standard, same surveyors for the whole building, so it's before.
We want to know what the secret sauce is.
It's always Thousand Island, isn't it? Like everywhere you go, they say it's
Mustard.
it's like
Any other,
Little
Mark,
relish
anything else?
thrown
You got
a
it?
little sriracha.
All right. Any questions, comments? All in favor? I know, I can tell. I can tell.
She's
You've been very good.
very.
She's a good board member.
She should
You
be
got
the
it.
only one allowed on.
Anybody opposed?
What do you have on paper?
Abstentions?
No, I-
Public members in favor? 2. No abstentions, no, okay, no
We
opposition.
have one more. One more. Wake up. Wake up.
One more license, yeah, one more application.
I'm gonna need
Thank you,
coffee
Kelly.
next.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Take a picture.
Huh?
No, you.
Yes, we're done. Thank you for your patience.
It was fun. Yeah, it was really good. Dante did really well. I think I did pretty
Do you want
good.
to?
I love the pink in your face.
All
We
right,
have to mail them in.
Why didn't you turn the volume down? I was
Okay.
sort of flipping
Oh,
at
and
night.
purple also.
and go back to it.
this is 429 Greenwich.
Very fashionable.
So how's it?
Good
evening, everyone. This is Paisley Restaurant. I'm happy to report we're not on a roof.
Engineers were so busy on so many different projects that we went in once. and then going
The address
back
is
in
429 Greenwich Street.
We're 29 Greenwich. Between what?
With Alan, we used to take years.
Did you work, excuse me, did you work with VJ Rao?
Yes, Mark, that's what I
He
use.
tried to open, he got
Yes.
a bad report. He tried to
And
open
I'll,
the place down.
I'll,
VJ,
Okay.
yeah, right, about 4 or 5
About
years
the
ago.
zoning is interesting.
Yeah, is he
Still
still,
Dylan Bond.
Financial districts all postponed.
is he still at?
Did you pre-fill one?
Except 65 Broadway, which was wrongly listed in Tribeca.
we just, they agree that
That's the one you missed.
Wrongly listed.
It's a deli that wants to have a bar on its mezzanine.
Oh, and where is he located?
65 Broadway? It's the American Express building.
Oh,
These are the lobbyists.
Yeah.
That was the one where they walk up with the drinks and anyway.
Well, we're,
So,
My name is Mark Grosia.
people,
This is Paisley Restaurant, 429 Gray. It's an Indian restaurant with a southern flair. What I have with me is Eric McCarthy, who is the head chef. 11 years experience. I put some of his CV in there, including operating 5 Michelin restaurants. One of them was Pamela in the Tribeca area for a number of years, and he has gotten a Michelin star for that restaurant as well. His partner in this is Juthika Betty. She will be management, and he will be cuisine for the most part. It's a 2,742 square foot location. Dining with seating is about 72 seats with about 17 tables.
It's the old Dylan Prime, right?
Yes, that's correct.
You're taking over both sections,
No, just the front section.
the corner?
Correct. And that's where the 2742, if it had the larger section, it would probably be closer to 4,500, 5,000.
And what are you gonna use as your main entrance?
The front one on,
Late?
no, on Greenwich.
So you're gonna change it?
Yes.
All right, okay.
Operating hours we're looking for are Sunday through Wednesday, 11 o'clock in the morning till 1, and Thursday through Saturday, 11 to 2.
Somebody tell me after they drink it.
I had indicated in the application that there was live music. That was incorrect. There was some talk about special events, but there'll be no live music. It'll be all background music. I put in some information about the speaker system. It's a typical restaurant background music system. The engineer who's putting it in is using a JBL system. Again, in terms of cuisine, it really comes from what we've presented, which is what has been successful in other restaurants. As far as I understand it, Mr. McCarthy has been looking for this area he's been looking for a place to open for himself for a long time, and this is where he wants to be. I believe it will be a benefit to the community, and the cuisine and everything they're going to do here should be a success. If there's any questions?
from what I know,
I got a couple of things.
well, you were involved with Tulsi or not?
Yes.
Okay, and, I mean, these are wonderful places, so I'll speak to that.
no, that's good.
Yeah, the windows don't open there, right?
Correct, we're not opening
I don't even think they have, right? What time will you receive deliveries for goods and services?
Mostly in the morning.
What time?
Between 11 and 2.
Okay.
And whatever the music is, whatever, it's not, background is not heard
Just
outside.
just
Not heard
off the
outside.
restaurant.
It's a residential building.
Yeah.
I mean, the floor above you is resident.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jeff, the good thing is, I think they have closed, windows are closed all the time.
Mhm.
So that's one.
Yeah.
All right, so
Are there
it
any-
looks like a really good.
Are there any neighbors to this here, or? No. How do I, you've been here for a while.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, you're with them, okay.
I'm an
operational consultant.
Okay, there you go. All right.
I mean, they kind of asked you for our general hours 1 and 2. I live only like around the corner from there. It's very quiet at night.
Yeah.
Very, very quiet at night.
Well, the customer,
Oh, let me finish. So, and we like it like that, but we also balance the fact that businesses have to come in and you gotta survive and all that thing. So the only modification I would ask you to make is that you do 1 a.m. Every day except Friday and Saturday. Would you agree to that? All right, okay.
Isn't that, oh.
They're asking Thursday, Friday,
Oh, so you're
Saturday.
So
It's just a matter of Thursday going to one.
So Friday, Saturday, 2 a.m., and the rest of the week, 1 a.m.
They just agreed to that.
My
Yes.
Right.
objective is just my food.
Keep in mind, it's a
Yeah.
very quiet block
Yeah, it
over
was-
there, so
Yeah, it
people
was,
leaving at 1 in the morning,
Right.
you gotta be very careful.
Yeah,
Because,
I've been in the neighborhood for a
Yeah,
while.
so then that's very quiet over there.
When are you opening? We're
Yeah.
hungry.
That's the intersection that has all the cobblestones messed up.
Yeah,
Oh,
good
yeah.
luck with you. Let's
Well,
send
they-
all the Ubers
Yeah,
over
they just
there.
actually paved over it. They actually just paved over it.
Yeah.
So temporary pavement, it's already coming apart.
Oh, good.
Like they only did it 2 weeks ago. All right, so you agreed to those hours.
Anybody else have a question, comment?
All good.
So you come in
Sounds
and
good.
just floats right through.
Right?
Perfect timing. It also sounds like it isn't a problem, so.
All right,
it's
so
very, very
It's just
any other questions for you, Mark?
There's nothing going on.
Any,
There's
uh,
nothing there. It's like super quiet at night. That's the thing.
On the
So-
stip sheet,
I think
any?
I got everything.
Steps?
Background music. I think I got everything. No dancing, right? Oh, Sidewalk Cafe. You said no, right? What's the answer to that?
Are you intending to apply for a cafe in the future? Yeah, okay.
I'll say yes.
Still in prime pack. That's where we have problems.
They had one on the late side.
Really?
Oh no, granted.
No, they had both.
They had both.
They had
Yeah,
both.
they had both at one point. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
This is like the real mom and pop stuff. Sorry.
May I collect papers from everybody, please?
I'm taking
This pile in the middle is all collectible.
You have to vote on this last one.
Yeah. When Mike,
Father
Mark is
of
done.
3 sons. They're gonna run you ragged.
Exhausting.
They're just born, just fake.
special occasion.
3 boys running around. You've got girls, it's gonna be quiet.
Yeah,
right?
I just need
I'm surprised the quality of life, maybe you guys have got any complaints about her.
So,
I mail it
But
back.
I did
we're
like.
all in favor?
Talker.
Everyone,
She's
everyone
11 to 1.
All in
Saturday,
favor?
11 to 2. That's what I changed. Okay. They'll take a picture and then you mail it back.
What have you got? Mark? You're in
Yeah,
favor?
yes.
Yes. 10, we lost Cal, okay. Anybody opposed? Any abstentions, recusals, public members?
Jean? Yes.
2 in favor, therefore no abstentions, no opposition.
Matt, do you want that?
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Good luck with the restaurant, good luck with the restaurant.
Meeting adjourned?
Yes,
Or do you wanna,
we will be there.
um,
May I go?
question, so next session
Yes,
looks low,
looks right.
loaded.
Yes.
The agenda, the next session looks loaded. Due to childcare,
Thank you, Liz.
I'm unsure of my availability. Is there any way?
Bring the child, what's what Callie did.
She's not as, I could maybe give her the iPhone, that might work a little bit. Is there any way we can maybe
everybody
take the
sign in?
really controversial ones, move them to another evening?
Those are
Is
mine.
Passover gonna disrupt our schedule?
Oh, God, I don't know when.
No,
That's-
Passover is Thursday and, Friday and Saturday this year.
When? Oh, that, the two, yeah, okay, so it's not gonna,
The controversy one's next month, one is already
18
postponed
million?
from this month.
yeah, 18 million and the other one.
What's the other one?
That's that on 10.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, which one?
Didn't you say the Dwayne Street one?
Oh, yes, yeah.
Unless you want it.
No, I don't
There's no way you wanna move them to another night? We spent an hour on 18 million.
Can I do that? Mitch?
Thing.
What's
Do you
controversial?
need those papers?
18 Williams.
18 million.
Karen, you
Another
keeping
night.
yours?
I'm gonna take it.
Karen?
Folks, I'm just reminding
We've done that before with others.
Jeff,
The problem,
forget next
especially,
week.
No, I know it's hard.
no, but Darren, the council members are
It's on
sending
my
out
desk.
notice.
Okay, just reminding everybody.
A lot of notices going out from all these entities and
Yeah.
constituents.
Sometimes the
So this
big
change was a big
controversial
deal.
ones,
Try and
do like a one night. If we know we're gonna get a
mix
lot of
up the
residents.
schedule between all the committees, doesn't.
Okay. Well, we may have to do it on a future date. I mean, I'm
I'm hoping
concerned.
both of these have been postponed because they're working with neighbors. Have been late. So the reason I give you my card is that as you're opening, if you should run into issues in not providing service, one that maybe.
Francis, I think you're the most incredible person in the world. So, for the record, just residential.
All please. I mean, I looked at the previous places.